how do we get improv to be taken seriously by a general audience? Now, this is different from 99% of improv right now is appreciated by improv students. Comedians who flirt with improv for a bit. Well, like, how do we get this to be considered a real art form? One of the things that I proposed was, like, if there were a serious platform, periodical, if there were periodical reviewing shows and rating shows in the same way that, like, Broadway shows get reviews and indie music newsletters review bands, like, teams need that. Because right now, every improv show is just word of mouth. It's great, it's wonderful, it's terrible, it's my friend's, UCB 101 show. Like, nobody can discern, no casuals can discern the difference between an amateur show and all-time greats. Like, really nobody knows the difference except for a few insiders in the art form. And that's a huge problem because most people's one experience with an improv show is their coworker invited them to go see a 101 showcase, which is 9 out of 10 times garbage. And it's not because the people are garbage, it's just because they're learning and they're new and they don't know what to do yet. And so once you've seen that one show, you go, oh, I know what improv is now. Now I get it. It's this trashy, casual, inside joke-filled thing full of nonsense bits. And it's like, it can actually be a really beautiful, meaningful experience for an audience in the same way a traditional play can. But for it to be that, it has to be performed by masters who've been doing it for decades. And none of these people, very few of these people are like household names. Very few of them are celebrities. A few of them are TV actors who've, succeeded in that medium as well. But it's like, if you don't know that they're pro improvisers, you would never know what show to pick, what theater to pick. It's not obvious at all. And so you need some kind of centralizing source of information that goes, here's a show. We watched 3 of their sets. They were all different. And here's our aggregate review of all 3 of those sets. So that way you're not judging it on, like, whether it took off or it bombed on any given night. I actually, I think of it kind of like the X Games, Before the X Games, whenever that happened around the turn of the century, before the X Games, there were just skateboarding groups. They were just dudes on skateboards who went to pools and went to playgrounds and they did skateboarding stuff. And it was like, they weren't celebrities. They were just amazing and only known to their coterie of amazing skateboarders. And it was like, it was the X Games where you're like giving them all artistic ratings and sponsorships, and like that made everything take off. Probably needs something like that for improv.